So we're going to learn something new pretty much every day, okay? These formulas are identical to the ones used in vehicle finance. So these are, I don't know what you want to do. Do you want to just use the vehicle finance, have that on your study sheet, or do you feel like you want all of these in there again? You decide, right? This is loan. You can't put loan next to it. Wherever you see mortgage, you can technically say, maybe just up top here on page 25, maybe just once tell yourself, hey, that's really the loan. The price of the house minus the down payment, that's what the bank is going to finance for you. Okay. Interest paid in the first month. It may not be in the exact same order on your vehicle finance, but interest paid in the first month is mortgage times the interest rate divided by 100, all of that divided by 12. Okay. Where is that table rate going to come from? Obviously a table, and it's going to be in the pink tables that you should have, right? You divide that by 1,000 because let's look at it real quick. The table, take your pink table and just put it right underneath there, right? So this is your amortization table. You have the interest rates here, and you have your amortization, your years up here. And this is usually what the increment is in real life. So and remember, it says right here per $1,000 of loan. That's why we divide that one by 1,000. Okay. So we will come and get the rate based on the interest rate and the years you take, and then you figure that out. Okay. Interest paid in the first month, mortgage times interest rate divided by 100, not 1,000, right? 100. Interest rate divided by 100 divided by 12. First month worth of principal. To get your principal, you take your payment. You essentially take this one and subtract that one from it to get the principal. Because remember, the payment is always made up of two, principal, interest, every single month. Okay. Total paid to the bank. You take your payment times 12 times years. This is TI, total interest paid. I would strongly encourage you to put these in front of whatever letters I have here, because I have a feeling some of you sometimes forget what these letters stand for. So when I ask you for total interest, some students just give me this part instead of having this subtracting by mortgage part. Total paid for the house, you would essentially take what you paid for to the bank plus the down payment, right? So how about we do this? This is essentially total paid to the bank. You take everything you paid them and the down payment, that's how much you paid for the house in total. And all these charts and all that I will do on a different day because I need more time for that. So let's go ahead and actually use these formulas to calculate our mortgage payment and interest and all of that as follows. So let's go to page 27. So you purchase the home for $345,000, right? So that's the purchase for that much. You save up a 66% down payment. The remaining amount will need to be mortgaged at 5.5% per year over 25 years. Watch what it says here. She chose a 5-year term to lock in the rate for 5 years. That's quite common to do that. And I'll explain that in more detail once we do this part. So here, determine the amount of the down payment, then calculate the monthly mortgage payment. So down payment, we need to figure out how much that is in dollars. We'll go 0.06, because that's 6 divided by 100, multiplied by 345,000. Let's figure out what that is. That's 20,700 that was saved up in this case. By the way, pay attention to this. If I ever ask you, hey, if somebody saved up 50 grand in this case, how much of a percentage did this person save up? It's just like your test score. You take what you have, what you got, and you divide it by the total. What was the test out of? In this case, out of 345,000, how much is 50,000? So you would just divide it and then multiply it by 100. So you saved up 14.49%, right? So you can go backwards as well. In this case, we want to know what 6% is of that. So it's the equivalent of having 20,700 saved up. To figure out the payment, we take our mortgage minus down. No, sorry, it's not the mortgage. It's the price you pay for the house. You take your price, purchase price, minus down, and then it's table rate divided by 1,000. That's what we're going to do. Okay. And this part right here is what we consider our mortgage. Like that's the loan towards the house that we're going to have to finance. So let's do it right next to it. So it's 345,000 minus 20,700. And then we multiply that by a table rate over 1,000. I strongly encourage you to determine this first, like figure out what the dollar amount is. And that's 324,300. That's what you're borrowing. That's what you're going to pay interest on, this amount. Okay. Now we need to figure out this part right here, that table rate. Take your pink table real quick, and we're going to match 5.5% over 25 years. You match those two numbers. So 25 years is right here. 5.5 is right here. And then you just go across and down. 6.1. I'm just going to double check. Yeah. So 6.1 per $1,000, 6.10. So I'm going to write that down here. $6.10 for every $1,000 you borrow. That's what you're figuring out here. So I'll make an arrow going down. I'd say 5.5% at 25 years. That's how you figured that number out right there. That is an important number, which I'm going to highlight. I should do pink, right? Because we took it from the pink table, which is be appropriate there. And I kind of took up a lot of space here, so I apologize for that. But I basically take the 324,300 times 6.1 divided by 1,000. And there it is, 1978.23 per month that you're going to be paying. So for 25 years, non-stop, you're making this payment for 25 years, every single month, which is almost $2,000 every single month, right? That's a lot of money. We don't know if you can afford it. You would have to do the GDSR with this, but this is the payment if you would want to buy it. Calculate the total amount paid to the bank over the life of the mortgage. Total paid to the bank. It's your payment times 12 months times the number of years. So 1978, 23 times 12 times, in this case, 25. Watch out. Sometimes I have 15-year mortgages, sometimes 20. So you got to watch out for that. There we go. So 1978, 123 times 12 times 25. There it is. You will have paid the bank this much money. Almost 600 grand by the time you're done the mortgage. It's actually, the interest rate that we're using here is much lower, not quite lower than what it is right now on the market. The market right now is 6% and higher. We're using a 5.5% interest rate. So imagine that in 25 years, 600,000 that you paid for it. Determine the amount of first month's payment that goes towards interest. First month's payment that goes towards interest. This is calling for lowercase I, like the small interest, the interest you pay on 1 month only. So you take your mortgage, you multiply that by interest rate divided by 100, and then that answer you'll divide it by 12. Otherwise you get the whole year worth of interest. I think I will highlight the mortgage is over here on our formula, this part, which really is this, right? That orange, this number right here is the mortgage, what you get when you subtract the down payment. In this case, there is a down payment. Did I talk about the minimum down payment? You have to have 5% down. You can't buy a house unless you have 5% down. You will not be able to sign. Bank will not approve it. It's a government established rule. Like you can't, and it's just to protect you, right? To make sure you have enough. So the mortgage in this case is 324, and I will talk more about that. And then we take our interest rate, which is 5.5%. We will divide that by 100 to get rid of the percent sign, and then you divide it by 12. One more line. 324, 300, that's 0.055 when you divide that by 12. So if you already do this in your head, if you turn the percentage into your head, don't divide it by 100 again. Sometimes students do like a double dividing by 100, so that's, you don't want that. So here it is. 324, 300 times 0.055. I'm going to hit equals there, but it wouldn't really matter. Divided by 12. So your first payment, guys, this is what I had a hard time grasping this at first. Just imagine you're working hard every month, right, to make money. You're giving them 2 grand. Technically, they're getting almost $1,500 of that is going in their pocket. Can you grasp that? I don't know. Maybe you're like, yeah, I'll worry about it when I get there, but that's crazy, right? Like really only $500 or so goes towards paying off your mortgage at first, the first month. And then slowly this is decreasing. Every month it's a little less interest, a little bit more principal, right? So find the principal paid on the first month. That's lowercase p. So you take your payment and just subtract I from it, like subtract that interest portion from the payment, and you're left with principal. So 1978.23 minus 1486.38. 1978. 1486.38. That's 491.85. Goes towards owing balance. Where does this go? Their pockets. Right? That's good. That goes to their pockets. So it's a pretty good. The higher the lending rates are, the better it is for people that save money, because your savings is going to earn more too. So some people see it as a bad thing when the interest rates go up because they owe money. But if you save money, it's actually a good thing for you because your savings is going to earn more interest. Calculate how much interest you would have paid by the end of the mortgage. Okay, how much interest? Can I say something here? Because this threw some of you off. I will say that's the finance charge. Total interest. That's the same thing. So make sure you write that down because some of you didn't know what to do when I asked that on the test. But I did talk about finance charge. So that's TI. TI would be payment times 12 times years. That chunk tells you how much you paid the bank. And you want to subtract the mortgage from it. You want to subtract like what was my original mortgage? How much did I pay them back? And that difference is what they profited off of, right? So this is 1978.23 times 12 times 25. Did I do this part already? Somewhere earlier? I did that already. In B, in part B, I did this part already in B if you go look. So I'm just going to borrow that number. So let's figure out that difference. 593,469 minus 324,300. No decimals here. So it's 269,169. So almost $270,000 in interest. Ouch. I'm gonna stop here and ask you to try page 28. That's the only one I want you to try before you go. And I'll give you some answers so that you're kind of on the try page 28. Oops. Oops. I'm going to zoom out a bit, so trying to get all the answers on there. hope you can see that.